I'd argue the trash lady is a crone.
She's a hag for sure, and you know it.
The distinction is so subtle.
Yeah, but she's got hag vibes, not crone vibes. Crones are too sharp. You know, they're too pointy. She's not sharp or pointy. Hag's a sag.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fess Up, where the Fess sisters help spice up your conversations with unique and thought-provoking questions. That's right, we are breaking the ice with a sledgehammer. Woo! My name is Amy Fess, and I have the best swing.
What?
Yeah.
Like the music style?
No, like swinging the hammer, but maybe also the music style.
Okay. My name is Marissa Fess, and I have the best arm strength.
Ah.
And my name is Ina, and I have the best follow-through.
It sounds like all of our strengths lie in the same area, and we all think that we're the best one at it.
I think that is just us in general. You just summed it up right there.
All right, folks, you can stop listening now. We have summed it up.
So, guys, when you're listening to this, Halloween just happened, and we want to get spooky with it on Fess Up this week. So, I just wanted to start off with a couple of, tweets, I think they are, that I have seen about haunted houses. Different haunted house ideas. There's two of them, okay? The first one is a haunted house for anxious people.
Ooh, me.
And here, this Ben Pansexual Pants said, haunted house for anxious people. Started 10 minutes ago. Room 1, a store about to close. Finish shopping while the cashier is annoyed. No. Room number 2, a teacher randomly calling on people to read. Then room number 3 is 30 minutes of small talk. And then the haunted house ends with a text that says, call me.
Oh my god. I can think of ways to improve this, okay? Because it's a great base for an anxiety haunted house, but I feel like each idea can be improved upon.
Okay, yeah. I would like to hear what you have to say.
Okay, first idea, right? The store is closing, the cashier's annoyed. Mm-hmm. What you need to do, add a line behind them.
Yes, there must be a line.
There's got to be more people waiting, because the cashier's annoyance, while enough to stress me out, is not enough to send me into the next plane of existence.
You're right.
Which would be when there's people behind me too, and then I'm fishing to I have to put my change away.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing worse than when they hand you back change and they're like, get out of line. You know, they don't say that, but you just feel it.
Or they just literally say next while you're still counting the change or whatever.
Yes.
And they're like, why are you calling next? I'm still here.
Literally.
You know what kind of line always gets me? If you go into a drive-thru for a fast food restaurant you don't know the menu of, and there's people behind you, so you don't have time to look at the menu, and you don't know what you want because you don't know what they have. But,
yes.
But then there's people behind you, and also, anytime you get to the drive-thru, they say hello, immediately, and, they just expect you to know what you want.
They used to have menus in advance, 2 menus, one for while you're waiting in line and one for when you get up there, and they seem to have universally gotten rid of the pre-ordering menu, so you just have to know.
It's horrible.
So, the haunted house for anxious people, I also, the text that says call me, I would change that actually not to call me. Because call me, if that were to come from my best friend, I'd be like, hell yeah, tea time. And if it were, call me from, my mom, then I might be like, oh shit, something went down, this is gonna be heavy. The best text to send is, we need to talk. Then it doesn't matter who it's coming from. Because no matter who it's coming from, if they say, we need to talk with a period.
With a period.
Oh, shit.
That scares the shit out of me. You did that to me the other day. You didn't even say, we need to talk. It was just hey, can I ask you something? And I was in a cold sweat. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Or they can just call you. Because I don't know about you guys, but getting a phone call sends me into the next universe. I don't know what I keep talking about sending me places, but it literally, I get so stressed out by phone calls.
I also think room number 2, with a teacher randomly calling on people to read, you need to have the wrong book or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or people...
Pop quiz.
Oh, pop quiz.
No matter what it is, you don't know the stuff because you're just in a haunted house. You're not in school.
Exactly. A pop quiz, but it's an oral pop quiz. So not like in the sexy way. An oral pop quiz and like, okay, you answer question number 1, pop quiz. How many legs does a chicken have? And it's a plant actor and they're like, 2, correct. All right, Marissa, what's the airspeed velocity of the average swallow? Pop quiz.
African or European.
And they'll be like, African.
And then I'll be like, oh no, I wish I could stump you with that, but now I have to answer. I think the other thing they could do is you walk into the classroom, they're like, okay, it's time for your presentation.
Ooh.
Where's your project?
That's a good one.
Give us your speech.
I have had that happen to me in real life.
Oh yeah, I think we all have. We've all been there.
Was yours because you didn't do it?
Well, maybe. I'm sure that's happened to me, but like, I'm pretty sure it's usually for me. It's just like, I forgot that was today. I wasn't done with it. Or I don't have it with me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever just straight up not done it.
That shocks no one.
I do want to say my second tweet about a haunted house.
Ooh, okay.
The second tweet is from Big Money Tim, who says, wish haunted houses had like a chicken night where you could walk through but nothing would jump scare you. All the monsters would be there, but they'd just say hi and explain their little room's lore.
Ooh.
And I kind of love that idea.
That sounds like the best night ever for me because haunted houses give me so much anxiety even though I know they're just actors.
Well, I love a haunted house. I'm not really scared of a whole lot, especially haunted house, like a whole lot that a haunted house could throw at me. But like, I would love to go in on the chicken night and be like, tell me all about the lore, and then go in on the regular night so that I could like appreciate the lore of the rooms. Because I feel like sometimes they have like a really intricate theme, but you're in there so fast because like a man's chasing you with a chainsaw that you like don't really get to absorb what the theme was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Blue's laboratory. And you're like, who's Dr. Blue? What kind of creepy experiments are these? But you don't get time to look at it because Dr. Blue also wants to saw you in half.
Exactly. And it's like Dr. Blue has a creepy haunted doll in the room. And it's like, why does Dr. Blue have a doll? Isn't that like not science-y? But like, it's too late because the doll's trying to gnaw your legs. So you're like, fuck, I guess we'll never know. And that's the most horrifying part for me.
Yeah, but then in the lore, it's like that is a doll haunted by the spirit of his daughter. And it was his last gift to her and stuff.
And his science is all based in trying to bring her back from a haunted doll's body.
Yeah.
Do you have any haunted house ideas that are coming to you?
I think it would be funny if you went into a haunted house. This is what I thought you were going to say when you said chicken night. I thought you were going to say like, oh, okay, so you're walking through the haunted house and it's not announced to you that it's chicken night, you the customer. You're walking through in each room. You're terrified that you're going to get jumped out at, but no one ever does.
Oh, that's actually, I've been in one of those. It was like, I want to say it was like in Canada or something, and it was not Halloween time, which is probably why nobody jumped out at us. But it was just like,
They didn't have any workers.
it was like a haunted, if you go to the Toronto part of Niagara Falls, there's like a strip of just like the easiest cash grabby random shit. Like there's like Hall of Mirrors, and it's not really spooky, it's just like the sort of novelty of a Hall of Mirrors. And there's like the wax museum sort of a thing, and there's like a whole bunch of random things, like a little arcade, a little like maze situation, and then there was like a haunted house. And we went in there. It was not a very big haunted house, but they did like have the ambiance of a haunted house. And it did feel like at any point somebody could jump out at you, but really nobody did. So it was like we walked through this haunted house kind of horrified, like in anticipation for no reason.
That's disappointing, though. There should be one sprinkled in there just to keep you on edge, right?
Yeah, and it's like at the beginning.
Yeah. Beginning, middle, I think.
Then like one at the very end, so you like really shit your pants, and that's where like they take a photo. And you get to see it in the lobby.
Oh, my idea for a twist on a haunted house is you go in and all of the monsters pretend that they're scared of you because you're so ugly.
So you're just doing the SpongeBob episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, what happened to Ina and I recently is we went to this, like, haunted maze, but it was, like, before the Halloween season really got started. I think it was still September.
September.
And it was not a busy hour. I don't know what I said. September. It was not a busy hour, it pretty much seemed like we were the only people in there. It was like literally like someone's backyard that they had converted into like a haunted maze. And so we're like halfway through and it seemed there were no employees there. And all of a sudden, everyone I was with was in front of me, but I heard someone coming up behind me and I screamed so loud and I like turned around and it was like this scary looking guy in costume scaring us.
Oh, nice.
But I had not expected anyone to be there. So like I think I started screaming and everyone thought that I was just like being ridiculous and then they turned around and started screaming. It was pretty great.
It was especially because they told us that they only ever had people like actors in the maze on weekends and it wasn't a weekend.
Yeah, they lied.
Take that idea and turn it into a haunted house where like if you just keep looking forward, you don't get scared, but like every room you just get new people to follow you who are creepy, and so then like if you turn around at any point then you are scared shitless.
It's like that myth.
Yes, it's like Orpheus and Eurydice, but for some reason horror.
Yes. And like there's hints like you can hear them behind you.
Yeah, and you can like feel them on the back of your neck, but if you just don't turn around then you'll be fine. How about a question?
How about an answer?
You better have one. A Tumblr post said, vampire versus skeleton. What's a vampire going to do? Suck blood the skeleton doesn't have? On the other hand, werewolf versus skeleton would not be so good. All those bones. And then another user commented, Halloween rock, paper, scissors. So in the vein of that, what other rock, paper, scissors could we think of for Halloween?
Witches.
Witches.
Mummies.
Mummies, yes.
Witches make mummies.
Huh.
But mummies can't get back at the witches because the witches will get them with a spell. Okay? We need one more in the middle here.
Frankenstein.
Black cats. They unroll the mummy wrappings.
Frankenstein, black cats.
Well, like, let's throw both of them in there, because, okay, so you said witches defeat mummies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So mummies would defeat Frankenstein because Frankenstein is made up of the mummies.
He's like a handsome mummy, and it enrages them so much that they'll beat the shit out of him.
They gave him his good looks, and they can take him away just as fast, because he's made out of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Frankenstein can get the cat because it's bigger than cat. Cat gets the witches because the cat loves the witches.
Why are we adding cat?
She wanted the cat to unravel the mummies, but
But the
mummies
problem is the
already
mummy has to get the cat.
had the witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I realized that after I had said the cat thing, but then you said, why don't we add both?
We workshop both. I was gonna just like see.
Well, this is a workshop, okay? This is how workshops work. They doesn't always work out.
My workshop is Frankenstein beats cat, but cat beats the witches because they think it's too cute that they just can't do anything because they're like, we love this cat.
Having four is too complicated, but we could pick
fine.
witches or cat, and that's why I want to workshop. So, like, if we do Frankenstein, the mummies beat Frankenstein because they're enraged by his handsomeness.
Yes.
And then Frankenstein beats the witch because
I thought we
she
changed it to a
can't-
cat.
What?
I thought we were switching witches and cats.
No, I thought we were. No, we're doing okay.
Okay.
Listen to
no,
me.
No,
We're
no,
work-
I guess I'm on the same page now.
We're just changing. we're using your idea first and just changing one for now, and then we'll change another one with cat to see if it works better in a second.
Okay. So
So-
the Frankenstein and the witch.
Frankenstein at the witch. Frankenstein would kill the witch.
Because he's so handsome, they're disarmed by it. They're like, ooh, hello. You're not like the mummies.
Or maybe the witch can't fight back against Frankenstein because there's so many different people involved in that amalgamation that, like, you can't make a potion for all of it. You just can't predict.
Because he's made of more than one person, so a spell against a person doesn't apply to him.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And if she tries to touch him, she gets struck by lightning, am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a spark between them, but
that doesn't affect the mummies because they're already dead.
Or, just going along that vein, Frankenstein, he's looking for a bride, and they're afraid of commitment.
you know, I love that, actually. That's beautiful.
And he's trying to make a spark between them.
I love that. Okay,
So switching witches with cats because the cats will unravel the mummies.
Okay, cats will unravel the mummies,
And famously, as in the movie The Mummy, mummies are terrified of cats.
That's so
they are pretty
tracks.
scared of cats. Also, in Egyptian culture where mummies are predominantly from, cats are sort of gods. So,
Yeah,
So cats totally beat the mummies.
they decimate them.
Frankenstein against the cats, though.
He can squash them.
I guess.
He's like Lenny
Yeah.
from Of Mice and Men. He tried to pet them too hard.
Aww.
He squished them.
He squish him.
That works perfectly. Forget all the witch stuff. That one's the one.
Wait, what if we instead keep the cat and switch Frankenstein with a witch? So now the cat beats the mummy, and then the mummy
Yeah.
has to beat the witch, but then the witch would definitely beat the cat because the cat's her familiar. So, like, the cat's not going to rebel against her because she feeds it. So, cat listens to mama, witch.
But how does the mummy all of a sudden beat witches?
Yeah, and that's what we have to decide now. How does a mummy beat a witch? It's already dead? And
It
alive
smells
again?
so bad, and witches famously have huge noses.
I was gonna say, like, you can't kill a mummy again, really, and it's already, like, necromanced, so you can't, like, be a necromancer and bring it back to life. So, like, you kind of have no spells for a mummy.
Kind of. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some other witch already brought this, like, dead corpse back to life and wrapped it in toilet paper because it was naked, I guess. So, like, what are you gonna do now? Kill it again? It would probably actually like that, so...
Or maybe the mummy unravels itself in an attempt
And
to
flashes
use
her,
its
yeah.
wrappings as a weapon against her. But before that even happens, it flashes her, and she's
Yeah.
so horrified at the sight.
As one would be, yeah.
Right. That she, like, vomits, giving them the perfect opportunity to then strangle her with their wrappings.
Obviously.
It works like that every time. Without
It's
fail.
like clockwork. It's their one move. And the funny part is they haven't realized that that's the move. They just keep thinking, I'm gonna strangle her with my wrappings.
And they
like
do.
really what they do. But the real thing that's happening is they're really blinding her with the sight of their like very pale, shriveled
up genitals.
Yeah.
Genitals, I said.
Genitals. With like just like maggots poking out, probably singing a song because why not? Maggots like to sing. I don't know if you knew that.
Like Corpse Bride.
Yeah, like Corpse Bride.
Or Oogie Boogie.
You're right.
Yeah,
Like Oogie Boogie. I'm telling you, they like to sing.
that's true. There are 2 instances of this.
2 instances.
The bugs that live inside you love to sing, Amy.
I am a maggot.
What if all of the bacteria that lives in our body is
James
singing
and the Giant
constantly?
Peach, I feel.
Okay, we gotta stop. What did you say? I could not hear either of you. Ina, what did you say?
I said, what if all the bacteria that live inside us is always singing?
Yeah, probably. Marissa, what did you say?
Oh, I just said I bet there's another singing maggot in James and the Giant Peach.
It seems like it would be.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
All the like claymation / stop motion Tim Burton-y things.
Yeah. Guys, how about a bit? That was the maggot inside of me singing.
I'm a horse and I like this bit.
You sang like a maggot.
Yeah, that was the maggot singing.
Oh.
Yeah. This bit is called The Sorting Hags. Because we're
All right.
sorting hags.
All right.
What we're gonna do is we are gonna use a TikTok filter to randomly select characters from a genre, and then we're gonna sort them into a Hogwarts house.
Or I thought we should sort hags.
Ooh.
We are the hags.
Oh, I see. I was getting ready for I was like, think of hags, Madam Mim.
I mean, Madam Mim might show up on one of these, actually.
The trash lady.
I'd argue the trash lady is a crone.
She's a hag for sure, and you know it.
The distinction is so subtle.
Yeah, but she's got hag vibes, not crone vibes. Crones are too sharp. You know, they're too pointy. She's not sharp or pointy. Hag's a sag.
We're gonna do a couple of male cartoon characters, and then I'll try to find a female cartoon character one, okay?
All right.
Here we go. This could be from any genre, really.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
So here we go. The first one is Cobra Bubbles.
Cobra Bubbles.
Cobra Bubbles from Lilo and Stitch. I feel like he gives me, and this might be controversial, he gives me Ravenclaw vibes.
Honestly, I get similar vibes, but I don't have a justification for it, though.
I'm gonna try to stumble into one.
Okay.
Because, like, looking at him, he looks like he should be, like, a Gryffindor because he's big, he's strong, whatever. But he secretly knows a lot. Like, he's a social worker. That means you have to have gone to school for a while. So he's very intelligent, but he also, like, purposefully is smart enough to not play his cards. Like, he keeps his cards close to his chest. They try to sort of trick him into thinking that she's living a better life than she is. And he doesn't really fall for it and is like, you have X amount of time to do whatever, or I'm gonna have to take her away. And then, like, he does secretly know about the aliens, and, like, he does, like, secretly know all these things. He just uses the fact that he's big and intimidating and mysterious as, like, his play.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is very intelligent choice for him.
You'd have to be very intelligent to be a trusted enough CIA agent to, like, then move on to, like, alien relations.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're right, maybe his brutishness is, like, the perfect spy cover.
Yeah. I also think that, like, in order to get put on a social working case that is gonna be linked to aliens takes a lot of sort of planning and strategy to, like, know this is a family that's gonna be dealing with aliens in the very near future, so I better get in there and pose as a social worker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think Ravenclaw.
I think so.
All right, next one. Megamind.
Ooh.
I think he's either Slytherin or Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean...
What were you thinking?
I was thinking either Slytherin or Gryffindor.
You could make a case for Gryffindor for sure, yeah.
Headstrong boastfulness that both of those two houses share,
You know, you're right.
as well as a desire for attention.
But his ambition is crazy.
I do have to say, obviously, Slytherins get a bad rep. Just because some of the bad guys haven't been Slytherin, everyone always equates Slytherin with bad guys. And so I didn't want to immediately go to Slytherin for him, but, I mean, he is very ambitious as a whole trait, which is...
His main trait is ambition.
Yeah.
So, he isn't a bad guy, though.
I guess technically he's not the bad guy of that film, no.
No, he's actually not. He thinks he is. Maybe that's because of being in Slytherin, he thought he was meant to be a bad guy.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
See, that's, Slytherin self-hate that's been ingrained culturally.
That's it, yeah.
Slytherins are always described as cunning, right?
Yes.
Which is just a mean word for intelligent.
Yeah.
And he's very smart and very creative, and he's able to use these things for his benefit. So that's the ambition play.
You're right.
No, he's definitely a Slytherin, but not because he thinks he's a villain. I mean,
And not because he's evil, because he's not.
He's not
And
evil.
neither are Slytherins.
You're right.
I mean, some of them are, but that's...
he's just ambitious and flashy and wants spotlight.
There are evil people in all of the houses. That's been very proven.
That's true.
Justin Finch-Fletchley in the Hufflepuff house.
We're doing the next one. The next one is Prince Naveen.
Ah,
Ooh.
he's a Griff.
Really? I was thinking he's a really lazy Ravenclaw. He got sorted into Ravenclaw for his musical prowess and kind of creative side, but he hated all the hard work he had to do, and then he became kind of like the one that loves to be a slack-off class clown, and he was kind of hated within the Ravenclaw house for that.
He, like, is a playboy, but with every house except for Ravenclaw, because Ravenclaw can't stand him.
Yeah. The Ravenclaw girls are not into that, but everyone else is. They're like, oh my gosh, you're a Ravenclaw? And he was like, yes, let me show you my pipes. And he, like, sings a song, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so great at the ukulele and stuff. And they all think he's this great Ravenclaw. Meanwhile, he's, like, the worst in the class.
He does have perfect pitch, though.
That is
He does.
very Gilderoy Lockhart of him, and Gilderoy was a Ravenclaw.
There we are, yeah.
Okay. Here's the next one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I killed a man with this thumb.
Yes.
I forget his
That
name.
boy.
But that guy from Ratatouille.
I feel like he's a Slytherin because, again, he holds up this tough guy front that he's kind of learned from how society treats Slytherins, but also because he always has a new creative story about how he's killed people.
I don't know, because I almost would say that makes him Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Because, like, this man is not afraid in the slightest of any kind of confrontation.
True.
Like, he's got to be brave in order to, like, get into a whole bunch of, confrontational situations, and then like man always comes out on top. Like,
That's true.
if it's true, he's brave, and if it's not true, he's boastful, which is both of those are very Gryffindor.
True.
Yeah.
He's looking for street cred. Slytherins, they're looking for attention, but like more in the fame, like straight up I'm better than everyone level. Gryffindors are looking for attention as in like I'm a parkour, look at me do this flip kind of guy.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Different kinds of attention.
Let's do one more dude and then do a lady.
That's what you said last night.
I did say that last night.
Let's do one more dude and then let's do a lady.
At Amy's orgy.
Me as hell. This is Aladdin.
He's a Hufflepuff. He works hard for what he's got. Like, he's just, like, super nice even when he shouldn't be, you know?
He donates half of his hard-stolen bread to starving children.
Yeah, he does bad things, but only because society isn't built for him. If he had his way, he would do good things, you know? Like, if society treated him better, he would just be a good guy.
Gotta eat to live. Gotta steal to eat. Tell you all about it when I got the time.
The only thing with that is I do feel like he kind of lies a lot for a Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuffs can be liars.
Hufflepuffs are not pure beings. Justin Finch Fletchley was the worst.
I don't know who the fuck that is, but okay.
I just hate him.
Okay.
He's
In
just,
the books.
he's a minor character.
I don't remember him at all.
He's like a bully.
He's like a bully. He like was friends with Harry, but he like turned on him so quick.
Also, I just want to say that lying is not a trait of any of the houses, so just because they are a liar doesn't disqualify them from any house.
No, but they're loyal, so I feel like people who are loyal don't typically lie.
Yeah, but he's loyal to Abu.
He used his last wish on Genie to give him his freedom because he promised he would, even though it went against his best interest.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's fair. All right, females.
Females.
Okay, Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
She's got to be a Hufflepuff, right?
Really? I was thinking Gryffindor.
I mean, definitely could make a case for Gryffindor, but I feel like the reason that I want to say that she's Hufflepuff instead of Gryffindor is because, like, it's not that she's, like, really going to fight for the bravery of it. She doesn't want to be the center of attention. She's just, like, truly in it, genuinely, like, to help people and kind of, you know, going to the like loyalty thing. She's like trying to be loyal to people of the world and just like treat everybody fairly and equally. And she just happens to have the powers to do it.
I suppose, but also back when she was a kid and she was the only one not allowed to fight, she was very determined and passionate about being able to do that. Mm-hmm. That was the argument I was going to make for it, but I can see your point also.
You could be a determined and passionate Hufflepuff.
Well, you can be anything and be in any of these houses. That's the thing.
You're right.
Hufflepuff's fine.
Esmeralda.
Ravenclaw.
Sure, she's talented. She's incredibly intelligent.
Very creative with her magic tricks.
Mm-hmm.
She is the street smart.
Yeah.
Sort of intelligent. Like, she like can predict everybody's moves and be 10 steps ahead of them so that she's always able to get out of trouble with all these people around trying to, you know, kill her. But then she also knows when to sort of give up her running and go, like, take sanctuary and, like, exploit those rules to make sure that she's safe.
Also, there's just, like, nothing she isn't good at.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just very natural Ravenclaw.
True. Shigo from Kim Possible.
Ooh.
She's literally green.
She, like, looks like the stereotypical Slytherin.
Yeah, she looks like a... Yeah. Like, if you don't put her in Slytherin, I feel like all of her character design went to.
I mean, she kind of showed up dressed in Slytherin robes and then
told the Sorting Hat, I would like to be in Slytherin, please. And he was like,
Yeah.
I guess so.
he's
Absolutely.
like, I mean, you had that much commitment to it, then, like, I think you're just gonna have that one.
Her name
Yeah.
already sounds like Parcel Tongue.
Yeah, like...
It's obvious.
She's also the hottest one in all
So
8,
hot,
or
yeah.
all 8 years, 7 years of her Hogwarts experience.
Yes, 7.
I said 8 because of the 8 movies.
She could have been held back a year.
Maybe. We'll do 2 more. Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
I'd say Gryffindor because she's very brave. Like, I don't think she's really afraid of much.
No, she's not.
She kind of goes headfirst into things. I think she would be the leader if Fred would shut up for 2 minutes.
Well, the only reason she's not also is because they had a very sexist thing for a while where she was always the one getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
But I also think that, like, while you could argue that that's a sexist thing, it could just be because you're right. She's, like, not afraid to, like, go check out clues that might be a little sketchy and doesn't bite her in the butt, sure, but that's a very Gryffindor thing, you're right.
And she's ginger, which means she might be a distant American Weasley cousin.
Yes, clearly.
Yes. Fucking Fred is a descendant of the Malfoys, and he's like, oh, must be a Weasley.
And have you seen her outfit? That's bold.
It is bold. All right, last one. Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Hufflepuff.
Once again, another ginger who's brave to a fault, bold to a fault.
No, you're right.
And just jumps headfirst into situations without thinking it through.
Yeah.
You're right, that's so true. She's not the smartest princess.
She's not. She didn't critically think about anything, really. She was driven by her passions.
Her not being the most intelligent, does that really mean that she's dumb, or does that mean that she's just, like, a regular kid who none of us were smart?
Well, I agree with that. She was definitely, like, a relatable teenager.
I'm not, like, trying to disparage her. I'm just saying, like, I feel like most of the other Disney princesses are designed to be smart, and then she's not, though.
I don't feel like she's actively unintelligent necessarily, but she is rash. And she also, maybe she is a little bit on the stupider side because she didn't think of a lot of easy fixes while she was on land, like the sign language that she knew back when she had a deaf friend in the sea.
Yeah, right.
Or writing her name
also
down.
That she can write.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does write English, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. She didn't think of any of that.
This is where our ads would go if we had any. But we don't. Ariel didn't write them for us because she said, well, I don't know how to write.
She just assumed that they wouldn't speak English or something, even though she could hear them talking English. She's like, well, see, English is probably written different. So she didn't even try.
Here's the next question. David Foster Wallace was a prolific essayist who is known for writing the essay Infinite Jest. He also wrote the essays called Consider the Lobster and A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again. If you were writing these two essays, what would they be about?
Repeat them, please.
Consider the Lobster and A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again.
Okay, well, consider the lobster.
What are you considering about the lobster?
People like to mix it up with a crab. I know because I once went as a lobster for Halloween, and everyone at school thought they were funny calling me Mr. Krabs, but I was a lobster, and it was very upsetting.
But I was a lobster.
Consider it! Have you considered it? I bet you'd never thought about how sad and upsetting it would feel to be a 15-year-old dressed as a lobster who keeps getting mistaken as a crab.
Well, now I've considered it.
It's racism. It's crustacean.
Crustaceism.
That's good.
That is really good.
Thank you.
Crustaceism is
you
the
didn't
best
consider
thing
it.
that I've heard all day.
Don't be such a crustacist.
A crustacist.
I have one.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
For Consider the Lobster. Okay. Everyone is having fish as pets, right? But everyone just leaves these lobsters in these sad, like, grocery store tanks to be eaten. How about we take lobsters as a pet? I saw a video once of a man who did that. He bought a lobster and he took it home as a pet, and it, after a couple months, when it was, like, perfectly healthy, was, like, actually a super cool pet.
Aww.
So, like, consider that.
Aw, the Deep tried to do that.
No.
Every single time I've gone to the grocery store and seen those things, I've considered it.
Yes. Consider it a little harder and maybe just rescue one.
I just don't have the funds for the aquarium that it would need.
Yeah, you need a huge tank for a lobster.
There was once a rumor, I don't know how true it was, but there was once a rumor that the track team from my high school went on, they got to go to, like, New York City for some competition or whatever, and during that weekend, a couple of people in the room together bought a lobster and just like had it living in the bathtub of the hotel, and they got in big trouble. And also they got caught with weed.
So they were stoned when they did this, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. And I bet the teachers didn't consider the lobsters as a possibility.
I mean, no.
No one considered that to be a possibility.
They didn't consider the lobster.
That's some The Hangover level shenanigans.
Right?
I know.
I'm gonna say, a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again. I feel like that's gotta be... This man was really excited to turn 21 and go clubbing, and then he did and realized this fucking sucks ass. Cause god damn it, if that's not like you're in close quarters, you're all trying to dance to too loud music, you can't actually hear the people that you've come to dance with, but you don't even really have the space to dance. So you go to try to get some drinks to get at least a little bit more drunk, and the drinks are all like $28 for some reason, and you're like, why is this so expensive? It's just fucking alcohol. It's literally a shot of vodka and like the rest of it is seltzer water. Like, how is this so expensive? But you pay it anyway because you have no choice. And then you go out onto the dance floor, you try to dance some more, you spill your drink on yourself because people danced too hard and elbowed you, and then you try to leave the place because, God, it's stuffy, and oh my God, it's so hot. But then the line for coat check to leave is 2 miles long because everyone's decided to leave at the exact same time, and they have one coat check with only 2 employees, and it's chaos. Thank you.
Okay, but consider I've never been to a club, and I want to.
Well, it's gonna be a supposedly fun thing you never do again, because I can vouch for everything Amy just said. You forgot the filthy ass bathroom.
Oh yes, your feet like stick to them somehow, the floor somehow, every step
and
of the
then
bathroom.
just like the creeps that try to talk to you there, and you're like, no.
Yeah,
I believe it, and it sounds terrible, but please, would either of you consider doing it one more time so that you could do it with me, because I wanna?
I will go again. I make the mistake of forgetting how bad clubbing is every couple of months, and my friends will be like, you want to go to a club with me? And I'll be like, absolutely. And then I go to a club, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really like to dance. I wish I were singing instead. I'd rather go to karaoke. And then I'm standing here like watching all these people in dance circles like really dance battle, and then some rando will like point to me and try to make me go in the center. I'm like, you're getting like weird hand movements next to my face because I'm not like really a dancer. And then like I don't go in the center. And then break dancers go in and you're like, shit, that man's gonna be bald because of how much he's spun on his head today. And
in college, I was dragged to clubs a lot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like most of the other girls that went, especially the ones that went on a regular basis, would just bring flasks full of like shots in tampon shaped containers. Like they're in like a fake tampon wrapper. Mm-hmm. And then they would just go into the nasty-ass bathroom and chug these shots, which is disgusting.
It is the better way to do it financially, though, so I do applaud them for that.
Yeah. But also, like, did it even need the tampon theming if no one was ever going to see it? I don't think so.
I think sometimes they'll try to confiscate alcohol if you try to come in with it, depending on the kind of club.
Oh, sure. But, but did it need to be a tampon? Because you're not going to whip that out in front of anyone. You're going to only break that out in the bathroom.
No, you're right. That's fair. I also think that the worst part for me about the clubbing, every club that I've been to, there have been moments where I've had some fun, especially if you go with fun enough friends. Sometimes you can actually have fun. And if you pregame enough, like you can get a sweet spot. It's not always a terrible experience, but the one thing that is always terrible is inevitably there's a point in the night where there's too many people in one spot for the size of this fucking club, and then no matter where you stand, you have people bumping into you, and goddamn if that's not like something that immediately triggers my rage.
Yeah.
Like, just getting bumped into when someone's, like, on their way to the bathroom and like, I'm so sorry, excuse me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to dance here, thank you.
The tone you used was so true.
Right?
And so enraging.
Oh, I just don't like getting bumped into because I don't like feeling like I'm in the way. But there's nowhere to stand where you won't be in the way for somebody. And no one ever, I mean, I guess I don't know if no one ever tries to use their words because it's so goddamn loud. But they would rather just like shove through you than like go somewhere that has a little more space that might be a little more out of their way, you know? Mm-hmm. They're like, you are in direct path, must push out of way. Anybody else have something, a supposedly fun thing you'll never do again to essay about?
College.
College. Honestly,
Yeah.
say no more, fam. That's a
that's
collective absolutely. They really did talk that up to be like, those will be the most fun 4 years of your life. You have to go. Mine were 2, and they were terrible.
Here's mine. Eating poi.
Oh, no! I hate poi.
That was hyped up to me so much. They're like, you're in Hawaii. Why not try one of their favorite things, poi. You'll never be able to have it anywhere else, at least not authentic stuff. You gotta have it. And I tried it, and it was
so disgusting.
The taste of glue mixed with like maybe dirt. It was like cold, and it wasn't even as thick as I wanted it to be, maybe. And I'm like, when would you eat this?
It wasn't thick enough to be a, like...
Pudding.
Yeah, but it wasn't thin enough to be a sauce. So just like, there was nothing... You couldn't really scoop it and eat it, but you also couldn't really dip anything in it and eat it. It just had no purpose.
I felt like maybe if you warmed it up, it would be gravy-ish texture.
Yeah, maybe.
But it wouldn't. It would take away some of the delicious taste of whatever you're eating it with.
Absolutely. Oh, that was so bad. I hate poi. Guess what, guys?
What?
It's time for... What two are you?
Ooh.
What two Nightmare Before Christmas characters are you?
Ooh, I love that film. So Amy's Oogie Boogie.
Hey.
Because she
is a bag full
bag
of
of bugs. Yeah.
We did go over this already, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's where her beautiful singing voice comes from. It's the maggots. But I feel like, in all seriousness, she knows how to be a leader / bossy. Mm-hmm. He falls somewhere between those two things, and she tends to also.
Thanks. Great, yeah.
Amy likes her own rules to be followed.
Yeah.
She benefits from those rules.
She's got a dark sense of humor.
He's a showman, and so am I.
Yes,
A
absolutely.
showman.
Mm-hmm. I also have a great Oogie Boogie impression.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do it.
'Cause I'm Mr. Oogie Boogie, and you ain't going nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've got the charisma for it.
Thank you. I also get along with children very well. Mm-hmm. I could probably make them go kidnap Santa Claus for me.
Yes, you're like the Pied Piper. You can make them go do things for you. But also you can't get them to do it right. They come back with the bunny. You're like, what are you doing?
What is this?
Marissa is Santa Claus.
What?
What are you going to do? The victim of Amy all the time. Also a boss in charge of things. Like, she can run things really well, and she's beloved. And if she weren't there, things would fall apart.
Things do fall apart when I'm not there. I mean, look at the rest of the world.
Also, Marissa loves red.
That was supposed to be a joke, you guys. You guys, I felt like you took it very seriously.
Say it again.
It was like, when she isn't there, things fall apart. I was like, yeah, I mean, look at the rest of the world.
Exactly. It's a good point.
I need to just be everywhere at once, like Santa is on Christmas Eve.
I'm gonna write it down, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm ready.
If you hate it and you want to replace it, you better do it then.
I think she's Jack Skellington.
Well, I was gonna say that too, but I said Santa first.
Well, I'm gonna say Jack Skellington first because I think he's more important than Santa Claus. I think Marissa is Jack Skellington. She is very curious. She is definitely not one to go against, or no, she is one to go against the grain, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. She has her own unique way of thinking and is also kind of stubborn, but she's not necessarily stubborn. She takes charge and is a leader, but not in the way that, like, she forces everybody else to follow her. Like, I don't know, I might, but like, she's just like gets an idea in her head and she just kind of takes the initiative to see it through to the end as much as she possibly can, or until she gets bored of it.
And then people kind of look to me sometimes without me necessarily asking them to.
Yeah, like you'll be like getting really into, I don't know, when you got into the cricket machine, you got really into it, and then all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, Marissa, like, I see that you're really into this. Like, how do you do this? Can you help me with that? Like, whatever. So, like, when everybody was like, you're into Christmas, can you, like, tell me what this Christmas shit's about that you're, like, really trying to push on these people? And then they did, and they're like, actually, yeah, let's try to do Christmas. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I think you like, are an influencer in that way.
He's also just, like, so talented, and he's kind of adorable.
He is adorable.
And he's a good singer and has a deep singing voice, which you have.
And he's, like, so scary, and I would say that I'm pretty scary.
Also looks great in pinstripes.
Sure.
Oh, also, you forgot to mention, he gets depression.
He does get depression.
He's like, hey, I'm so bored that I hate everything, and no one will understand what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to tell anybody. And I'm like, I feel that, Jack.
Also, he loves dogs.
Yes. Yes, Marissa's definitely Jack.
All right, what is Ina?
Ina is Sally.
Yeah.
She's very quiet and sweet. She doesn't want to cause any sort of a fuss if she can help it. Like, she wants to just be nice and helpful all the time. But then when she's being mistreated, she'll kind of go off. You know, like, she'll actively try to poison you if you aren't treating her right. If you aren't giving her literal freedom, she'll maybe kill you because you come back anyway. So, but it was never out of malice. It was always out of, I want to get away from here and, like, be my own person.
Yeah. She's also super talented at creating things. Like, I'm going to say creating things, but, like, her specialty is sewing, but Ina's really good.
And potions.
Yes. And Ina is really good at cooking and needle felting.
Also, she's pretty.
Pretty.
And kind of
A good singer.
I mean, I wouldn't say Sally's a good singer.
What do you mean? She sounds good.
It's a pretty song. It's
Yeah,
a
I
pretty
like the song,
song.
yeah.
She didn't
it's a
sing
good
it
song.
good, though.
Okay.
Maybe she had a cold. Ina gets colds a lot nowadays.
Ina currently has a cold, so.
Ina currently has the second cold in a row.
I'm not sure it's not just one long cold that had one good day.
It had, like, several tapering days, and it came back with a resurgence, like a phoenix cold. Ina's got a phoenix cold, you guys.
It cooks itself.
Yep.
But yeah, that's Ina. And also love interest worthy.
There you go. Tall.
She's got hips, too.
Tall with hips.
Tall with hips.
I have hips! Woohoo! It's me!
No one else has those.
No.
They were invented specifically for me.
No one else in the world or in the fictional world has them.
Yeah, my legs just kind of stick out of my torso for some reason. But you have hips.
My legs are in my ears.
Yeah.
I look kind of like that toy from Toy Story that's just legs and a crane.
The hooker.
I never got that. Oh no. Wow, what an adult joke.
All right, who's the next character?
Amy. Because we already got two from Marissa.
Yeah, okay. Not necessarily.
Not
but-
necessarily. I have another idea for Marissa.
Yeah.
Amy's the mayor.
I am?
Yeah.
I get it because Amy gets in very manic moods.
Yeah, she's like either like the best person to be with or kind of the worst.
Wow. Fuck you too then. Bye-bye.
She gets in manic happy or manic anxiety, which are the mayor's two modes, where he's like, yes, let's do all the things. All the things are terrific. And then on a dime, his head will spin around and he's like, oh no, everything is terrible. I don't know what to do. Everything is so bad. I mean, I would say that's a gross oversimplification of, Amy's ADHD. But I feel like it kind of can go like that for her.
I could see it, yeah.
Up zones and down zones.
He is like such a hype man for Jack. He loves Jack so much. And Amy is such a great hype man.
Thanks. I tried to pump them up.
He is always trying to help out and look out for Jack.
He's always got the spirit.
Yeah.
He also, you have an idea, and if he thinks it's a good idea, he, throws as much of himself as he can into helping make the idea happen,
Whether you like it or not.
even when you stop believing in the idea.
Yes, literally.
He's like, we have to do this thing because it's the best thing and the best idea, whatever. And like, I do that.
And you're like, never mind. And he's like, but I've already started.
Exactly.
And you're like, started? I told you about this 2 minutes ago. He's like, yes. I started immediately. And then his face turns around. He's like, I should have started even sooner. I should have started before you told me.
Amy's definitely the mayor.
Thanks.
Also, what a top hat. I mean,
It's
Amy
a great
really,
top hat.
She wears that top hat a lot.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
exact one. She stole it from the mayor when she sucked his hole out.
She sucked his hole out? She sucked out his hole?
I said soul.
It sounded like hole, and it sounds like something Amy would do is suck out his hole.
Hey, what's up?
Amy would also suck out her own hole if she could.
This has taken a turn.
Yeah.
Like, I took it on a turn, and then it took another one, and now we're on a different highway.
Yeah.
So,
The highway to hell for sure.
Marissa could be one of two characters.
Okay. And neither of them are Santa?
Neither of them are. Santa was not in my head for this.
Okay, well, go ahead.
He's such a small cameo.
He comes back to Yellow Jack in the end.
Yeah. I was thinking Marissa's either the professor or the kids. I can't decide which one I like better.
Well, you gotta explain yourself, because I support Santa.
Okay, we'll go. I think the kids are perhaps the easier sell. So I would say that Marissa is the kids. I'm gonna just like lump all three together. I don't remember their names.
Boogie's boys.
Oogies boys.
Boogie's boys.
Boogies boys.
Really? I thought it was Oogie's boy.
I thought it was Oogie's boys too. I'm actually now I'm gonna stop everything.
I think it's Boogie's boys because of the alliteration.
Their names are Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
They are Lock, Shock, and Barrel. That is it.
They are Boogie's boys. You're right, you ho.
It's the alliteration. They wouldn't miss that opportunity.
No, you're right.
I hate it. Thanks.
I would argue that I'm actually the clawfoot tub. Am I right?
That they ride around in?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm like reading about them and I don't need to. Okay, so I think that you are Boogie's boys because they are mischievous. They like to do their own thing even when they have a job to do. And they kind of sometimes purposefully don't want to do what they're told. And they also sometimes, I get surprised that no one's chiming in, but that's because Karina's like really dead set on fucking Santa Claus.
Marissa is Santa.
It's not it. Okay, so anyway, these kids, they like to roast people, which is a hobby of Marissa's that she very much enjoys. She's great at the roast.
That's true.
She did used to be my little sidekick when we were growing up, which is those kids. But then she did rebel, which I think those kids kind of also do in their own little ways.
Yeah, they're like, we'll bring Santa back. Let's kill him.
Yeah. You're loyal to the people that you're loyal to, and then the people that you're not loyal to, you don't really care what happens, if that makes sense. So it's like when Jack was like, oh, do this for me, they're like, oh, sure, and then they don't because they're really loyal to Oogie. So when Oogie Boogie's like, yo, bring me Santa, they're like, I got you, fam, and actually do what he wants, and they kind of are just like, yeah, sure, to everything that like Jack wants or the mayor wants.
They avoided confrontation.
They did.
By agreeing to something they didn't intend to follow through on because they're like, we don't do things for free. Oogie Boogie gives us stuff. He's kind of like our friend too. Who are you?
Exactly.
You think I'm just gonna do you things for you? But they didn't want to have an argument about it, so they were like, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I think that those, oh, also they sing. Marissa sings. We're gonna just keep doing that. They actually are pretty creatively dressed. Like, I want to say they have creative kind of costumes for kids, but for them, that's their regular clothes. So I don't want to like call it a costume because it's literally themselves.
In Disney World, I saw a sign put up for the Halloween season that showed one of Boogie's boys taking off his mask, and his face underneath was exactly the same as his mask. And now that I think about it, I think they all might be like that. Which doesn't have anything to do with me. I just thought that was crazy and needed to mention it.
Gross. I hate that.
They are kind of like that, but it's like more. Like the masks that they put on are actually more normal than their faces, if that makes sense.
They're more comfortable masked so they can, with the fake air of anonymity, they feel more comfortable getting up to nonsense.
I guess so. Yeah, but like, I don't know. They seem like they've gone pretty all out for their costumes. And like I said, I guess it is because they actually sort of live in those looks and it's not like a costume. But when Marissa does a costume, she does go all out for it. So that's what I was trying to get at with that line of thinking.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
But if you want to really get into it, maybe they wear masks because they're trying to like only save their weirdness for the people they really trust, like Marissa, who lets her guard down and is super weird around us.
They all want the cool person to like them. That's something I guess I can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we've all fallen into that trap.
So yeah, that is my thing. I think it's better than Santa Claus. What do we think?
I like Santa, but sure. You can have your boogie boy.
Hey!
Amy's being Oogie Boogie and forcing her ideas on poor innocent Ina.
And you ain't going nowhere. Ina is 0.
0?
Mm-hmm.
In what way?
She's a dog.
Since when?
Well, nobody laughed at that one? Okay.
I don't think I fully processed what was happening.
Well, you said, in what way? And I said she's a dog, and I thought that would get a laugh, but it didn't.
No, it sounded pretty true to me.
I'm just catching up with what I said. I said since when? What does that mean?
Since always.
As always. Anyway.
How did you not notice? Woof.
Yeah, listen to her, woof.
I've been bark. I've been, speak. This whole time.
The comments we've gotten on the podcast have been like, wow, 2 of you are like so funny, but why are you talking to a dog as if she's like actually making any sense?
Is this why anytime I drop something, she brings it back to me like a game of fetch?
It's also why when you drop food on the floor, she eats it.
Oh, I was wondering.
She's always like sniffing the butts of dogs. You didn't think that was weird?
And she always asks me to let her outside.
Anyway, so I'm going to say that she's 0 because she is very loyal and very happy-go-lucky. She is there to be supportive at all points of a people's existence. Like, Ina has said a lot that she is the therapist, mom friend type in her friend groups that she's in. She feels like people comes to her a lot for support. And I think that is 0's role a lot. I mean, he's a dog, so he can't exactly talk, but he tries to do whatever he can and try to be as helpful as possible whenever he can be.
They both can really light up a room.
Ina did get that light bulb installed in her nose.
I did. It's called a pimple, and it doesn't really glow, but I couldn't afford a light bulb.
She sometimes can be a woman of few words, and obviously 0 does not talk at all. I don't know. And she's also somebody that everybody likes to have around. Like, she's not, whenever she's like there, it's not like she's a third wheel. It's like she's a welcome and invited member of a situation.
Sure. I just want to say, though, that I can't believe you gave Ina shit about Santa Claus and then you pulled 0 out of your butt. This is preposterous.
I want to say, isn't 0 in the entire movie, though? Yes.
Maybe, but Santa has plenty of lines, and 0 says woof.
I don't think 0 even says woof.
I really think he does bark at some point.
Maybe.
What would you have said, Marissa?
Yeah, what would you have said? Maybe you could make a better argument.
No, I actually don't have a better one, which is why I'm allowing it, but otherwise I would put my foot down on this.
I appreciate your support, Marissa, though, in my Santa Claus.
I never hated the Santa thing.
You are trying to spin this. She didn't say, I want the Santa back, R.I.P. She said, I am mad that you said she couldn't do Santa, but am I glad you said it? Yes.
I mean, okay. Now here's my thing. I didn't want to get involved because like you were doing it for me. But like if I'm gonna say my piece, like sure, Santa's a lot more flattering than Boogie's boys, but like I am what I am. I guess it's hard to see objectively what you are until someone points out that you're one of 3 nasty gremlins that want to murder Santa Claus.
You called me a bag of fucking maggots. I don't think that you have a lot to
You
stand.
love that bag of maggots, though.
I love him, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm a bag of maggots.
I just want to say, if Marissa were Santa Clauses, though, like, other than the Santa Claus, she would definitely be Tim Allen and Kurt Russell Santa.
Now, that's the nicest thing I've ever heard, and also a lie.
I have not seen the Kurt Russell Santa, but she is definitely Tim Allen Santa. Tim Allen Santa, yes.
We need to... Later, we'll do a Santa's episode, okay?
We gotta do a Santa's episode, and you gotta watch the Christmas Chronicles before then, because you would love it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down right now. In conclusion, Amy is Oogie Boogie and the mayor. Marissa is Jack Skellington and Boogie's boys, and Ina is Sally and Zero.
Marissa's Santa, and you know it.
Here's a question. Michael Myers wears coveralls, and so that makes him a lot less scary when you realize that he has to take it all off every time he poops.
That's when the real nightmare begins.
Let that sink in, guys. Michael Myers poops naked. So, with that in mind, how do you ruin other classic horror villains?
I just want to say first, though, that, like, he gets scared during those movies anytime he takes a poop because you feel so vulnerable anytime you're wearing some kind of a romper or a onesie and then you're in a public bathroom and you know you're naked in there and then, like, people can see you through the cracks and you're just, naked. He goes through his own kind of trauma.
Now I'm, like, imagining Michael Myers in a romper.
A floral red one, I think.
Yes. I would say, if you, like, Scream, there have been many iterations of Scream, but
Absolutely.
this killer Ghostface, every time, he wouldn't really work in New York City, because if you go over those grates in that big, long, flowing black thing, then you've got a Marilyn Monroe situation on your hands.
Yes! I mean, he's probably wearing clothes underneath that, but, like...
Is he?
How embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing either way, because then it's like your whole thing is being anonymous, and that kind of like blows up your shit where people are like, wow, this isn't a ghost after all. It's just a fucking dude under there.
Yeah, he's holding his dress down. It's the Marilyn Monroe pose, and then he has the Scream face on, and he looks kind of like that painting. He's just mixing all sorts of art forms.
Absolutely.
Into one big emasculating moment.
It is blasphemy. Especially because if you are one of those very hyper-masculine macho people who happens to be the current Ghostface, you would feel really upset for the rest of the world to know that you are wearing just a dress.
Billy Loomis would be infuriated.
Yeah, like, it's even if you were in your pants, like, when it blows up, you can tell those are, like, man's pants and, like, a man's shoe, probably because they're not very fashionable and also baggy on you. So, like, seeing that, be like, oh my god, the illusion is ruined, it's just like a dude. I'm not scared of a fucking dude.
I thought you were gonna say his long robes would get snagged in the sewer grate and he would trip and fall, which would also be embarrassing.
I mean, honestly, you don't even have to go that far, because literally in any house that he goes in, have you ever tried to go upstairs in a skirt that's like floor length? Because if I have not tripped every single fucking time on stairs when I have a long goddamn skirt.
Yeah, he always has a knife in one hand and you never see him using the other hand to hike his skirt up, so you know he's tripping.
Did Scary Movie ever do that, where he just kind of daintily comes up the stairs like Cinderella at the fucking ball?
And then loses a shoe like Cinderella.
Yes, he should.
Okay, what about Freddy Krueger versus a 5-hour energy?
That would ruin it. Yeah.
You're just pounding it back.
Why won't you sleep?
He will be, like, at a certain point, you'll start, like, hallucinating him into existence, and I feel like he would get fried by the sun. Like, his skin is burned already, and I feel like that just could be because man was, like, addicted to tanning when he was actually alive. So his skin just, like, got burnt raw. But, like, also, I know that it's technically gloves, but, like, I just feel like he spends a lot of time getting manicured. If you have gloves that are essentially long nails, I feel like you just want the long nails. Like, just commit already, bro. It's okay to just go get a manicure. No one will get mad at you.
You really do want those, like, 3-inch nails. The acrylics.
Mm-hmm. Carry, but give her love and support.
Would that ruin it, or would that make it amazing? I think that's what all of us always wanted.
It would make it amazing. I'm just saying, like, love and support, she wouldn't be a villain anymore. Is she really a villain, though? I don't know.
No, I don't think she is.
No, technically her mom's a villain in that movie, I think.
She did murder a bunch of innocent school children, but some of them weren't.
She's, like, an anti-hero, really.
Yeah.
You could ruin Chucky because, I mean, what is the most common doll in America if not a fucking Barbie doll? So Chucky would not actually be that kind of doll. Whatever kind of creepy doll that is, Chucky would absolutely be like a fucking Barbie or some shit.
That would be hysterical.
Just like mathematically. So you're running around with like this goddamn Barbie chasing you.
I think he was modeled after Cabbage Patch dolls, which is even funnier.
Yeah, that's true. He does look a little bit Cabbage Patchy.
He definitely was like Cabbage Patch era. Imagine a Cabbage Patch doll and it smells so cute still and and it tries to kill you.
Well, the problem with all of those is none of them have posable hands. How are you really killing someone if you can't pose your hands?
Neither did the good guy doll, but once he possessed it, it starts turning kind of human.
Oh, yeah, that's
like,
true.
he can bleed and stuff. It's weird.
Because I was going to say, if it doesn't have, like, if you can't grip something, but you can move your mouth, then you probably have to try to stab people with the knife in your mouth, and that's going to really cut your quips down to a minimum, which I know he sort of thrives on.
He does thrive on that.
I mean, I really think that, like, for Leatherface, you just gotta kind of, like, introduce him to drag queens. And then he's fixed, honestly, because that's all he wants to do, and he just doesn't quite know how. But if you just kind of sat Leatherface down in a room with a bunch of drag queens, it was just like, look, man, if you want to wear a dress, please. If you want to, like, put a woman's face on, you don't need to actually carve off a woman's face. Just, like, wing your fucking eyeliner, dude. And he's like, what's that? And she's like, oh my god, let me show you. And then they just, like, overdraw his lips, and then boom, he's a drag star, actually. And his number will involve a chainsaw, but, you know, it's just for show. It's not to actually kill people.
An interesting show, him up there with a chainsaw.
I'm, like, trying to think of a chainsaw-related song, and it's not coming to me immediately, so honestly, probably, like, Rihanna's S&M.
I was about to say the chains and whips excite me part.
But the chain, he has a chainsaw instead.
Mm-hmm.
The only other one that's, like, really ruinable is Pennywise. And really, I think that at a certain point, you will just sort of emasculate him because clowns are not actually scary. And honestly,
you can't emasculate him. He's a girl.
True.
You're right. You'll effeminate him. Anyway, you will make him feel sad about himself is all I care. Here is the thing. Pennywise.
They do actually, in the movie, do exactly that. They're like, we're not scared of you anymore. And he's like, ooh.
But this is, honestly, okay, this is it. You go up to Pennywise. I go up to Pennywise. You guys can't do this. I will go up to him. Dressed as the superior clown, Mittens the clown, yes. She will go up to him and out-clown him in every way, including being scarier because I will send him a text that says we need to talk with a period. And then this man or woman, whatever it is, non-binary, whatever, this fucking clown, it will absolutely just destroy itself. It couldn't handle my superior clownness. Like, what are you gonna do? I didn't even have to wear makeup for grown-ass adults to be scared of me.
That's funny.
This is a true story, and I don't understand it, but, you know, it's fine.
Oh my god, that's crazy. You were just a person.
Exactly. We could
You're
not.
a person in fun colors.
Yes, we could not wear makeup because we had to do so many parties in a day that, like, would have mascot characters or princesses. So taking off the makeup, putting it back on would be too much. Plus, they knew it would scare, like, too many kids. So we just, like, literally had our bare faces. We were just in rainbow colors. And still, every time, there'd be people, like, grown-ass adults, cowering in the corner of a room. And I'm like, I am just a blonde girl who looks like I'm 4, dressed in rainbow colors, painting a face, or making a balloon animal. I'm handing your kid cotton candy and doing the cha-cha slide backwards like a whole idiot, just so that they can mirror me. And come on. So,
Yeah.
if I was scary like that, then Pennywise does not stand a chance against me. I'm sorry.
That's true. Plus, you look like a child, so he would try to scare you, and then it wouldn't work the same.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He doesn't stand a chance. But guys, that's all the ice breaking we can do today. If we break any more ice, it will be considered a supposedly fun thing we'll never do again. If you'd like to send us a question, message us on Facebook or Instagram at Fess Up Podcast. Send us an email at fessuppodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok at Fess Up Podcast. Tweet a question at us at fessup_podcast. And don't forget to use the hashtag #UbFest. Send us new questions or let us know what happened when you used our icebreakers with your friends. Share our podcast with everyone you know and get the word out there about your 3 wacky friends.
Yeah.
That's it for me. I'm Amy Fess, who is scarier than Pennywise.
I'm Marissa Fess, who I guess is Boogie's Boys. Or Santa. I don't know where we landed on that. Which one was I?
Boogie's
Santa!
Boys. Boogie's Boys.
And I'm Ina.
And remember, guys, don't be a Crustacist, okay? Nobody likes a Crustacist.
Don't be Crustacist.
Don't be Crustacist.
Don't be Crustacist. Don't be Crustacist. Bye. That was my spooky goodbye.
That was my scream of fear.
Thank you.